Let's get to it. The follow-up phone call. So with it, this is an area I know a lot of information on. The sales follow-up phone call. I spent years and years and years working for a very, very high volume auto dealership on the West Coast. And this was my forte. This is what I taught all the salespeople on follow-up phone calls and how to be effective with making that phone call. Number one, there's a lot of statistics out there, and take statistics lightly. Okay, we hear, if you're in sales, you hear the statistics from sales trainers all the time, that the majority of salespeople out there never contact the customer, never make an attempt to follow up with the customer after they've left their store. Well, I don't believe that to be true. I believe we do make the follow-up phone call. I do believe we do try to make the attempt. But you know what happens? We either get a phone that continues to ring, or it goes right to a voicemail box that's not set up, or they don't reply to your text, or if your store opts into text, they've opted out into text somewhere along the way. And so you've maybe tried to reach out to that client, and maybe you've tried, but you stopped right there. You made that one attempt and nothing. They never called you back. They never replied to your text, or they've already opted out of texting. And if you were lucky enough to get an email, chances are it's just going right in their junk bin. When this happens, what you need to do, there's multiple avenues how we can reach out to our client and try to say thank you. Obviously, they came in, and if you started off with a incoming sales phone call or an internet lead to drive that traffic into your, and then you spent all this time with them on a busy Saturday. You spent 2-3 hours with this client on a busy Saturday, and based off of the steps of the sale, that you have exactly what the client's looking for. But something's amiss. The client left without making a decision. Oh, somewhere along the way, the client, when he was in front of you, decided not to make a decision. And so we need to figure out why and what's going on. Maybe the client, and maybe it's a couple, maybe it's a single man, maybe it's a single woman. Maybe they just, no matter what they buy, and if it's a big purchase, they take 24 hours to sleep on it. That is a true thing, believe it or not. Very few people do it. And it's more of a thing from generations in the past. My parents used to never buy things on the first day, big purchases on the first day, until my dad got into auto sales. And then, big purchases, hey, let's just make it. Let's find the right deal. Let's make the right deal. It's what we need, and let's go get it, right? And that's how most salespeople are. You hear if you're in sales, you hear that the salesman is the biggest laydown. You know why? It's because all we want is to be treated well, be taken care of, and have the product there at your store when we come in to buy it. We know our time's valuable, and we know we work hard for our commission, and we want you to make your commission. So us, the salespeople, being the biggest laydowns, we are the biggest laydowns. Why? Because time is important to us. Time and good service is important to most sales professionals. So what we do is we just go in, we buy it, we have a good experience, and we leave and we enjoy our product. We never dwell on the fact if we paid too much for it. It's just what we do. If everybody had that same mentality, our economy may not be in the area where it's at today. But all we try to do is we try to scrimp every little penny, and we try to fight for every little red nickel that we can to try to make a deal. When in reality, these things don't even matter. What matters is the value of the product that you're selling. And if you have the right product to meet the customer's needs. With that, you spent 2 hours, maybe 3 hours on a busy Saturday with this client, and you weren't able to convert them into a customer. So we need to try to reach out to the customer. There's 4 different ways we could do that. We could do that through a text message. We could do that through a phone call, a voice phone call. We could do that through an email, and we could also do that through a video. If you were lucky enough, and if you're in a situation where you have to get a client's identification before you move forward with just demonstrating your product, then you probably have their their physical address too. And if you choose, you can move to snail mail. The true pros still use snail mail, believe it or not. Just a way to stay in touch with the customer and keep their name out there. And a true pro mixes up all 4 or 5 of those different avenues to try to reach out and help that client with that product, with their issue. Because as sales professionals, that's truly what we are. We are people that help other people solve an issue or solve a problem. Once a customer leaves your store, your follow-up process should start the moment they leave. Your follow-up process should actually start before they leave the premises. Your follow-up process should always be to continue to ask for the sale. And I don't mean in a badgering type of way. The last thing we want to do is badger consumers. That gives sales professionals a bad name. Be tactful in the way you continue to ask for your sale, and don't continue to ask for your sale the same way. Use different avenues, use analogies, use stories, use relations, use something that you have in common with that client in order to keep being able to put the proposal in front of the prospect. So with that, let's say you've made that first follow-up attempt and you got either a phone that never stops ringing, or you got a voicemail box that's empty. Let's say you got a voicemail box that was set up. Did you leave a message? You have to leave a message. If the voicemail box is set up, darn near every time if you're calling once a day or twice a day, you need to leave a message. In some cases, in order to truly get a hold of a customer, you may have to use a couple different lines. You may have to use the store line. You may have to use the store phone. You may have to use your cell phone. You may have to use your CRM texting tool. All 3 different numbers to try to reach out and get a response back from that customer. The fact of the matter is once that client leaves the store, no matter what they told you, the reason why they left, your chances are very small that you're going to convert that client into a customer. We need to go about this on a very professional way and handle this and handle the follow-up as a professional. Not handling follow-up and not doing follow-up is what a novice or a green pea would do when they first get into the sales industry. So you've made that first follow-up phone call, and you either left a message or you got a phone that didn't have a voicemail box set up. You move to text. Maybe you've already opted them into text to get them into the store originally, but move back to text. If you have a communication going on with text, move back to text if you can't get a hold of them on the phone. You should always try to get a hold of your client or your prospect on the phone. Why? It's very important. Text can be misinterpreted based off of the emotion that the client is under at that given time. What do I mean by that? Let's say you text a customer. Let's say you text Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith just had an argument with his wife. In fact, they had an altercation in a public area. And Mr. Smith is not in the right frame of mind. You send him a text message, and you're trying to be joyful and happy. Mr. Smith misreads that text message and reads it in an angry tone, and all of a sudden, you've lost your sale. So it's very important to always try to move written text communication to voice. Because if Mr. Smith was able to talk to you, he can hear that you're genuine and can hear the sincerity in your voice, that you really are trying to help solve his needs. He will stay on the phone and communicate with you. It's that simple. So the tone of your voice does not translate well over text. And that try to move every phone conversation to text. There's always a hidden objection. No matter what the customer or no matter what the client told you when they were in front of you person to person, and the reason why they told you that they were not buying that product or that service today, that reason is a smokescreen objection. They are telling you that to bow out gracefully. The play for them is done. The theater act is all over, and they need to exit stage right or stage left, whatever they say. And so with that, we need to uncover what that real objection is. And then because it's once we get to the root cause of what stopped them from moving forward, then we can help to solve their problem. If you've seen my videos on mindsets before, you know about the amygdala and what the amygdala does to a person. The amygdala lays in our hippocampus and it's part of our fight or flight mechanism. It works with our memory, our central memory bank. And when there's a file that's pulled out or a situation that an individual is facing again, it could, if that past situation was a negative situation, it could make that person in that situation act today in an irrational way. It moves us based off of memory and fear. And so when you reach out to, so in that situation, when the customer, they are out of their comfort zone. Remember, the client is typically more nervous and more scared of making the wrong decision when they're in front of you one-on-one than anything else. They want to buy into what you're saying. They want to believe you. They like you, but they don't want to make a bad financial decision. So what do they want to do? They want to go home and think about it. Or if you're selling in a highly competitive line, the chances are, no matter what they tell you, no matter the reason why they tell you they're not buying from you today, is because they're going to go out and shop the competition. And as a sales professional, we know what typically happens in that situation. The client gets worn down, and eventually they stop and they just buy because they don't want the madness to keep on going. As a sales professional, we want to stop that madness for every client that comes into our store. And we want to help them. We care about them. If you sell with a caring, helping attitude, you'll sell many more units, you'll sell many more services than what you're currently selling. When you're texting the customer because you can't get a hold of them on the phone, ask if you could speak in person. Hey, Mr. Smith, is there any chance that we could speak in person? Hey, Mr. Smith, look, I'm not really good at texting. You could say you're not really good at texting. Everybody will understand. People are compassionate. They'll understand if you're not good at texting. Hey, Mr. Smith, I'm really not that good at texting. Is there any way we can move this conversation to a voice phone call? And then just leave it at that and send that text message. That customer will probably call you immediately once they read that text message. If you're on the go and you're already helping out, the customer's already left the store and you're already helping out another client, 30 minutes to an hour after the client leaves the store or leaves your facility or leaves your office, call the client on a voice call and thank them for their time and leave it at that. If you're able to get a hold of them on the phone to relay this message to them, try to open up the conversation to find out what's really holding them back. If you can't get a hold of them on the phone, leave a message, leave a voice message thanking them for their time. Repeat your name and your phone number and let them know all the different ways they can communicate with you. The next day, within 24 hours after that first attempt, call the customer again and thank them. Get them on the phone. If you can't get them on the phone, again, leave a message and then follow that voice message up with a text message. Follow that text message up with an email. And maybe shoot a video in front of the product that client was interested in purchasing yesterday and attach that to the text message or the email. If they don't want to pick up the phone and talk with you directly, you sending a video with your tone of your voice in front of the product or the service that they're interested in purchasing, it will come through as a much more personalized touch in order to help the customer fulfill their need. And now our tone of our voice is highly important. We want to talk to the client as if they're our best friend, as if we're talking to our mother or our father, our brother or our sister, or the uncle or the aunt that we like. In a conversation, words are power. And so the words you use are going to be highly important. And the tone of your voice and when you pause and what you do is highly important. And you want to have a cheerful, upbeat tone. A frustrated tone or a tone of aggression will kill your deal faster than an ice cream bar on the sidewalk in the middle of August. The tone is so important. Have a cheerful and upbeat tone. Talk to that customer just as you were talking to that customer when they were in the store. And just be kind and be friendly. Hey, John, this is Greg at Mattress Warehouse. Hey, thank you for coming in yesterday. I was thinking about you and Mrs. Smith and the Tempur-Pedic line that you folks laid on yesterday, and I just wanted to say thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting the both of you. Do you have any questions? And have you given the Tempur-Pedic any more consideration? And just leave it at that. Don't go on. Let soak into the customer's brain, and they will logically answer. Well, Greg, yes, we had a great time. You were wonderful. It's very rare to run into a professional salesperson as yourself. You haven't given much more thought to the Tempur-Pedic line. We did go check out a couple other stores after we left yours. So we got a lot to talk about and discuss. What you do right then and there, the customer is putting you on the fence, and they're going to see what your reaction is to what they have just said. Sales professionals are human beings, and we get emotional just like everybody else does. And so when we go into any type of phone call selling situation, we always have the best results in mind. But when we come across something that is less than that, most salespeople get frustrated and they lose it. They get frustrated, they lose it, or you can just hear the anger in their voice raise up, and the deal's done. Very hard to make that deal. No matter what they say, don't let it stop you from moving forward with your next question. And that should be, what's the real reason why they're not moving forward? Mr. Smith, hey, look, you folks really seem to like the way the Tempur-Pedic line felt when you were in the store yesterday, and you're great people. And the sale we have going on is only going on through Monday. And right now you can get the Tempur-Pedic line, paying 0 down payment, 48 months at 0% interest. It couldn't be any better than that. I know you've taken some time and you thought about it overnight. You shopped the competition to our store, and I think you should. That's a great idea. I would do the same myself. Let me ask, if there was something that really held you back yesterday from moving forward with purchasing that Tempur-Pedic, what would it have been? And then just be quiet and pause and let that soak into the customer's brain, and let them logically tell you the reason why. Well, I got to be honest with you. Your manager, when he came up and introduced himself, we really felt that there was a little push in order for us to get us to buy the bed yesterday. And it just wasn't something we were prepared to do. We just drove in because we saw the big sign on the sidewalk that said sale. And we appreciate your time. You're a wonderful individual. We still need to think about it a little bit more. And we're still considering a couple other mattresses before we make our decision. Did you like the Tempur-Pedic? And get a yes or no answer. Yes, I did like the Tempur-Pedic. Excellent. That's good to know. Knowing that you like the product that we had is highly important. You've already said you were happy with my service. Do you believe that I will be able to take care of you and your mattress and your sleeping needs from now moving forward into the future? Yes, Greg, I think you have been just amazing. And I think as long as you remain in selling for that organization, I think you will be our mattress guide moving forward. And as I said yesterday, we need to redo our guest bedroom, and we need to get a new bedroom set in there as well. Hey, I really appreciate that, Mr. Smith. I really do. And I can't think of a better couple to spend my Saturday afternoon with. Let me ask, would it have been the price of the Tempur-Pedic, or would it have been the fact that you just haven't made the decision on what the mattress is that you're going to buy? Now that you're communicating with the customer about the real issue on what's holding them back from moving forward, the client will open up and they'll start talking to you and divulging that real objection. Well, Greg, now that you mention it, the price of the Tempur-Pedic is up there. It's one of the most expensive mattresses money can buy. And from my understanding, there's no wiggle room on the price, right? It's like an Apple phone. The price you see is the price you pay. Yes, Mr. Smith, you're absolutely right. Well, my wife and I were looking at the Beauty Rest down the street. And we noticed they had the Beauty Rest Black on sale. They have a big promotion going on. And if we buy that Beauty Rest springed mattress, they're going to throw in the California King Comforter. They're going to throw in 4 additional pillows, and they're going to give me a new bed frame that matches our pre-existing bedroom set. Well, Mr. Smith, thank you for sharing that. That sounds like they've made you a good deal. Let me ask you this question. How was your experience when you were in that store? Do you feel that associate in that store would take care of your needs take care of your sleeping needs moving forward into the future? Or do you think I would be a better fit at being able to take care of that? Well, Greg, that's a good question. I got to be honest. Both you and Frank down the street, both very professional people, and both of you handled my needs exactly. Now, I really like the Tempur-Pedic in your style a little bit better than I do the Beauty Rest. But the Beauty Rest, my wife really likes the Beauty Rest, and the Beauty Rest will satisfy our needs for the next 10 years, hopefully. Understandable. That's very understandable, Mistress. Being that because the reason why the Beauty Rest, they're throwing in the king size comforter, the reason why they're throwing in the new pillows, and the reason why they're throwing in the bed frame that matches your pre-existing bedroom set is because they're having a challenging time selling the Beauty Rest. More customers are moving to the memory foam mattress than the spring mattress than ever before. Even though the memory foam mattress has been out for years, it still hasn't reached critical mass in its sales. And more people are making the switch from a spring mattress to a memory foam mattress. The memory foam mattress will last. I'm still in the selling industry. I'll be here and servicing your needs moving forward. Let me ask, knowing that and knowing that you will be happier in the Tempur-Pedic and with my services, do you think we could just make the deal on the Tempur-Pedic with you today? And then be quiet and pause and let the customer answer. Now it's getting down to the brass tacks. Now, like the movie Shrek and peeling back the layers of the onion, you're doing the same thing to find out what the real pain point is for the customer. And what that pain point is the root cause of what's holding them back and moving forward with you. Now the customer's going to say, well, yes, that's a really good point, Greg. And I do believe that you will take care of my family's sleeping needs moving forward as long as you're selling mattresses. But my wife, as I said, she really did like the Beauty Rest mattress. She didn't feel much of a difference between the two when she was in both showrooms checking them out. And with everything they're throwing in, it makes it a hard deal to pass up. Look, you're a young professional. You're going to grow up. You're probably not always going to be selling mattresses. You're going to move on to bigger and greater things. You'll probably be moved on well before we're going to need a new mattress, whether it's a spring or a memory foam. It's just a really good deal, Greg. Well, hey, Mr. Smith, I really appreciate that. And thanks for the kind words. There is a deal going on right now, as I mentioned to you and Mrs. Smith while you were in the showroom yesterday. And right now, if you buy the Tempur-Pedic Dreamline that you're looking at, that product may be more expensive than the Beauty Rest. There's a reason for that increase of price, and that's because of the quality and the longevity of the Tempur-Pedic will far outlast the Beauty Rest. So as I mentioned to you and Mrs. Smith yesterday, the Tempur-Pedic does have a deal going on this weekend. It runs through Monday, and it's 0 down payment, 0% financing for 48 months. And you can't go wrong with that. I mean, heck, that 48 months for a mattress like this, for the cost of this is going to be a very, very small monthly payment. So knowing that I can make the Tempur-Pedic affordable to you and Mrs. Smith, would I be able to earn your business today? Greg, I love your persistence. You really keep going, and you're a kind gentleman to talk to. Let me do this. Let me talk to Mrs. Smith, and I'll give you a call back. What's the customer really saying when they're saying this right now? What they're telling you at this point in time is the same situation of what happened while they were in the showroom. They're afraid of making a bad financial decision. And with a husband and wife situation, in today's world, there's gonna be a talk needed to take place for larger ticket items in most cases. So he really does truly want to go probably talk to Mrs. Smith about the Tempur-Pedic mattress over the beauty rest. And knowing that there's 0% financing is a big deal. A big deal. That makes it affordable. They're about ready to go drop $4,000 or $5,000 on cash or write a check or whack the credit card on that beauty rest mattress where everything's being thrown in for free. So they're having to part with their hard-earned money today, and you're finding a way to where they can keep their money in their bank and working for them and make a small monthly payment that fits into their monthly budget, and they can get the mattress that they truly, truly want. Now, Mrs. Smith, she loves the Tempur-Pedic. She loves the Tempur-Pedic way more than she loves the beauty rest. But she's not letting on to Mr. Smith, and she's not letting on to herself. You know why? Because she is conditioned in these types of situations. They've never gone out and they've never gotten exactly what they've wanted. They've always settled because of the price. So they've always downgraded from what she truly wants. She's always had to take the step down. So she doesn't even bring up the fact to Mr. Smith. She saw the price tag of the Tempur-Pedic when she was in your showroom, and it was a zipped lip from then on out. She saw a cheaper option that will satisfy her needs right now, and she absolutely loves that option because she, in most situations, from past experiences, she knows that the money is going to be more important than the value. And the reason why in the past is because the salesperson has not provided enough value in that product or service that Mr. and Mrs. Smith are buying. So when Mr. Smith says he needs to talk to his wife, now what you need to say, you need to come back quickly and you need to say, well, Mr. Smith, let me ask, do you like the idea? What are your thoughts about that? Knowing that there's 0% financing and it's only good through this weekend, and knowing that we have that Tempur-Pedic line that you and Mrs. Smith like in stock, do you think you could just make the management decision? And could we make the deal on the Tempur-Pedic today? And so you're going to ask him again. And then you're just going to wait for him to respond. And then so he's going to keep talking with you. Well, you know what? Here, let me do this. Can I hold that Tempur-Pedic while I talk to Mrs. Smith? Whether you take a product on hold based off of a verbal commitment or whether you ask for a monetary gain, this is a small commitment for him to move forward to do business with you in your organization. Whatever you can do to move that product forward. Look, as I mentioned, most couples do truly want to have a conversation. Not that they truly need to. They truly want to have a conversation because there's been something in the past where somebody's gone out and purchased something without letting their spouse know, and it created an argument. It created a rough couple nights. Maybe it created a bad week or a month where they really weren't speaking to each other. But you know what? They're still using that product today, and they're still loving it, and they're both using it together, which is more important. But because they don't want to go through that, and they don't want to butt heads with each other and have aggression towards each other, they want to have that talk. Okay? There's ways you can keep them going. Hey, let me ask, are you on your cell phone right now? Yeah, I am. Hey, well, why don't you put me on speaker and send her a quick text message and let her know what we're doing. Or, hey, do you want to do a 3-way call with you, Mrs. Smith? Or, hey, if you can't commit to buying the product today, could you at least commit to coming back in the showroom and with you and Mrs. Smith, and let's sit down and let me show you what I could truly do, because I want to be your mattress. We want to be your mattress company, and I want to be your mattress sales professional. And I want to develop a relationship with you moving forward, and you and your family moving forward for many years to come. Please, can I have that opportunity? How are they going to say no to that? They're not going to say, I mean, you hit them with that. That's a hard thing to say no to right there. They go, you know what, Greg? You're really driving hard. You're driving a hard bargain, but I like you. I really like you, and I'm pulling for you. I really do need to talk to Mrs. Smith. This is now where you're throwing your last pitch of the inning. Right now is the most important time. If you have something to give, this is probably the time to do it. You've worked the client back and forth. You're getting a little bit of movement, but you're not getting the movement you need. And maybe your store is allowing you to sell or give away a Tempur-Pedic pillow, or maybe up to two Tempur-Pedic pillows with your mattress purchase, because that's a decision that's held by the store, not by Tempur-Pedic. He's hit Mr. Smith's hemming and hawing a little bit. And so now you hit him with this. Hey, look, would it help you and Mrs. Smith to be able to make a decision to where we can do business today if I was able to throw in two Tempur-Pedic pillows with your Dreamline purchase? And then be quiet. Greg, I mean, they are throwing in a bed frame too. And that's a sweet deal. That's a sweet deal you're bargaining right there. But they are throwing in the bed frame, and our bed frame is broke. We broke that. And I'll tell you what, we broke that bed frame 2 4th of Julys ago. So now you're close. So now you're almost ready to make the deal of the day. He's already sent a text message in to Mrs. Smith while he's talking to you on the phone, and he's already, while he's waiting for her to respond, he's hitting you up with the bed frame. Why is he hitting you up with the bed frame? He's hitting you up with the bed frame because he knows that's the driving force for Mrs. Smith. Not only do they need a new bed, they need to save money. They need a new bed frame, and their pillows are garbage. They're going to have to go buy new pillows anyway, and they're throwing in 4. If you could throw in 2 Tempur-Pedics, that's like 4 regular pillows, right? And so now, what do you do? Okay, would you say, all right, Mr. Smith, hey, I appreciate your time. Hey, I'm here at the store until 5 today. Give me a call back. No. Wrong thing to do. You have forward movement with Mr. Smith right now. The thing to do is get a commitment to close that deal. So what you need to do now is you need to find a way to make that mattress, that adjustable mattress frame for the Tempur-Pedic, affordable in their monthly budget for them to move forward and buy that product today. So then you offer, hey, Mr. Smith, look, you're getting the mattress that you and Mrs. Smith truly want. It's got the 10-year guarantee. I'm going to be here to service your mattress needs moving forward. I'm throwing in 2 Tempur-Pedic pillows. You're going to be able to finance that mattress for 0% with 0 down payment over the course of 48 months. And I can't believe I'm even doing this right now. Mr. Smith, let me ask, would it be wrong to do this deal today if I could roll the adjustable frame mattress into the 0 down and 0% financing with the Tempur-Pedic Dreamline for 48 months? And then we can deliver it tomorrow afternoon. Now you got Mr. Smith really thinking. Okay. Now where do you need to go now? Now Mr. Smith is like, okay, beauty rest out. This makes financial sense to me. It's a better mattress. It's got a 10-year guarantee. Greg's a great guy. He's going to service my needs. I'm going to go back to see him. I'm not even going to go back to that other place when we got to refit out the guest bedroom. Boy, what an amazing experience. I thought I was going to have to do that. I thought I was going to have to shop for mattresses next weekend too. Boy, Mrs. Smith will really be happy because she really wanted to go pick out new paint for the guest bedroom that we're going to start remodeling. There's always a way to help your client. Keep that in mind. There is always a way to help your client. There is always a way to help your client. If you're in your showroom, if you're driving to work, if you're getting ready to go to work, if you're going to bed at the end of the night, repeat that. Make it your battle cry. There is always a way to help the customer, okay? Because when you take the helping and caring approach to fulfilling a customer's needs, you'll sell way more product than you've ever been selling. The sad reality is that most sales professionals go into the selling situation with the commission on their mind. They're trying to wrangle in the dollar. They're trying to wrangle in the buck. Meet me here at the Mattress Corral. I'm going to wrangle in my profit for the day. You're going to help me make my mortgage payment. You're going to help me pay for my new truck. Right? Wrong way to think. Wrong way to think. And that's exactly what gives us sales professionals a bad name. Now, take care of your customer. And one other thing. Develop a higher EQ develop a higher emotional intelligence with your consumers. I can't speak this enough. Once you understand this, once you get to know, develop a higher emotional intelligence, you'll start changing the way you speak to people. You'll start really think about the words that come out of your mouth, because what the words you say when you open your pie hole kill the deal faster than anything. And then what do? We blame the client. Oh, that guy's just a stroke. What a jack. Can't believe that guy wasted my Saturday. Man, I knew I should have sold insurance. It doesn't matter what you sell if you're happy selling it. If you believe in what you sell, sell it. But develop a higher emotional intelligence and apply critical thinking. Apply critical thinking. There is always a way to help the client. There is always a way to help the client. There is always a way to help the client. And remember, once the client leaves your selling organization, there's always a hidden objection. There's always a real reason why they're not doing business with you today. And remember, the phone and follow-up are your most powerful weapon as a sales professional. More sales and long-term sales are made from phone follow-up than from anything else. And it's the difference between low and average achieving sales associates to your performers. It's because of what they do with the relentlessness with their follow-up, their persuasiveness when they get them on the phone, what they say to the customer, and how they take care of their customers' needs. And I'm willing to bet you talk to any top performer in your sales industry or any other industry that sells, and you'll find that the top performers know that there's always a way to help their client. Hey, do me a favor. Check out some of my other selling videos. I'm probably going to redo the incoming phone call again. We cannot drill enough on the phone. Remember, Bruce Lee didn't fear the man who practiced 10,000 kicks. He feared the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times. Don't forget, check out my other videos. We'll talk to you soon.